This presentation is by Group 3. I, Rabi Imran, on behalf of other group members, is presenting this topic named hard disk. Moving to computer applications. We know about applications of computer, but knowing the reason behind every happening is always a source of wonder. Here I'm gonna discuss hard disk. We will come to know about components and working of hard disk. Hard disk. You can see icon and image of hard disk on this slide. Firstly, giving you introduction of hard disk, it was invented by Ray Johnson. It is a storage device used for storing and retrieving digital information. Coating and spin rates. It is coated with magnetic material. Hard drives have been engineered with spin rates as low as 1200 RPM and as high as 15K RPM. Moving to components of hard disk. Hard disk has many components. Major ones are disk splitter, read-write channel, arms and actuators, drive spindle motors and servo control electronics, buffer memory and disk controller. Disk splitter. A disk splitter is one or more aluminum, glass or ceramic disc coated in magnetic media and is coiled within hard drive to store all your computer data permanently. To help store and retrieve data from splitter, data is stored in tracks, sectors and cylinders on each splitter. Read-write head. Read channel performs a critical and immensely tricky task of converting analog data signals to binary bits. When writing, it provides data pattern to the preamp. Servo mode detects a range of information by a controller to stay on track. Moving to actuator. STD actuator is a device which moves head arm assembly. Actuator brings head arm and its slider to the right spot over STD platters from where the data should be read or written. Modern hard drives use a voice coil actuator which controls movement of a coil towards or away from a permanent magnet based on amount of current flowing through it. The question arises, what is spindle motor? A spindle motor is a small, high precision, high reliability electric motor that is used to rotate shaft or spindle on which platters are mounted on hard disk. The question arises about right choice of spindle motor. How do I choose spindle motor? Strong suitable build stand, winding configuration. Strong suitable build standard. The motor must be of a strong suitable build standard to withstand the stress created by centrifugal force on magnets and rotor up to its RPM limit. It must have winding configuration capable of providing the necessary power. Further moving, they are built to have small, high output characteristics of servo motor yet offer high speed rotation, 8000 rotation per minute. Most SDD spindle motors spin platters at constant rate ranging from 36,000 to 7200 RPM. You can see image on slide. Now moving to servo control electronics. Its job is to close the loop on the system by constantly looking up at the encoder signal and applying torque to the motor in order to control it. It is often referred to as motion controller. We need to know what is buffer memory. A buffer is a temporary storage region, typically in RAM. Data congestion, data changes. Firstly, data congestion. The idea of buffer was employed to prevent data congestion from an incoming part to an outgoing part of transfer. Data changes. Many programs track data changes in a buffer and then this buffer is copied to a disk. Let me explain why buffer is used. It enables us to edit typing mistake. It is used for printing files and documents. DOS and other operating systems have buffer to hold data from disk temporarily saved in buffer. When we want to hold data, it is temporarily saved in buffer. In this image, you can see the buffer memory flow chart. When a serial data signal transmits one clock domain to another, a buffer memory is interposed to absorb vendor. We need to know what is common use of buffer memory. It is used in computers that have a lot of RAM, such as servers and high-end workstations. They should not be used in gaming devices because it slows down the speed. It is embedded memory in hard disk drive. What is disk controller? It is a controller circuit which enables CPU to communicate with the hard disk, floppy kinds of disk, and other disk drives. It is circuitry on computer, motherboard, or on a plug in a circuit board that controls operation of your hard disk drive, floppy or both. In image, you can see flow chart of hard disk. Let's discuss difference between hard disk and RAM as both are storage devices. RAM. It is a main memory. It is fast but volatile. It is expensive. It is small. Hard disk drive. It is affordable. It is huge. It is non-volatile but slow. Firstly, random access memory. It is possible to both read data from memory and write data into memory. RAM is volatile power supply and is interrupted when data is lost. It is mainly of two types, dynamic RAM and static RAM, cache memory. It is used for temporary data storage as it is volatile. ROM stands for read-only memory. Only reading of data from memory is possible. ROM is non-volatile. The data is maintained even if the power supply is lost. It is mainly of the following types: programmable ROM, erasable ROM, and electrically erasable. We have discussed difference between RAM and ROM. We can also see the difference by their images. Now comparing RAM, hard drive and ROM with each other. RAM. It has small capacity, it has very high speed, it is temporary, cleared when it loses power, it has no user control, it is managed automatically by OS. Hard drive has large capacity, it has normal speed, it is permanent and can be changed by the user, it is user controlled, it can choose what to store on it. RAM. ROM has tiny capacity, it has very low speed, it is permanent but cannot be changed by user. No user or operating system control is preloaded with the software. Now discussing external hard disk drive. External hard disk drives typically connect via USB variants using USB 2.0 interface, generally have slower data transfer rates when compared to internally mounted hard drives connected through SATA. External hard disk drives are usually available as assembled integrated products but may be also assembled by combining an external enclosure with a separately purchased drive. There are two types of drives: portable external drives and desktop external drives. Firstly, discussing portable external drives. They are available in 2.5 inches variant. Portable drives are packaged in smaller and light enclosures than desktop drives. Now discussing desktop external devices. They are available in 3.5 inches variant. Desktop drive requires external power bricks. Desktop drives are larger than portable drives. SMR stands for Single Magnetic Recording Drives, and it differs significantly in writing performance characteristics from conventional drives. In particular, sustained random writes are significantly slower on SMR devices. Now discussing active hard drive protection. Some laptops now include active hard drive protection that parts the disk heads if the machine is dropped, hopefully before impact, to offer the greatest possible chance of survival in such an event. Moving to power consumption. What is power consumption? Power consumption has become increasingly not only in mobile devices such as laptop but also in server and desktop markets. Increasing data center machine density has led to problems delivering sufficient power to devices and getting rid of the waste heat subsequently produced, as well as environmental and electrical cost concerns. Next term we have highest capacity. The highest capacity desktop SSDs had 18 TB in mid 2020. The capacity of hard disk drive as reported by an operating system to the end user is smaller than the amount stated by the manufacturer for several reasons. Next we have calculation. Modern hard disk drives appear to their host controller as a contiguous set of logical blocks and the Gross drive capacity is calculated by multiplying the number of blocks by block size. Now moving to cost or SDD price. SDD price per byte improved at the rate of minus 40% per year during 1988 to 1996 and minus 51% per year during 1996 to 2003 and minus 34% per year during 2003 to 2016. The Federal Reserve Board has published a quality adjusted price index for large scale enterprise storage system including 3 or more enterprises. Now discussing performance characteristics. The number 1 is seek time, number 2 is disk sector and number 3 is bit rate. Seek time is a measure of how long it takes the head as empty to travel track of disk that contains data. Number 2, disk sector. Rotational latency is incurred because the desired disk sector may not be directly under the head when data transfer is requested. Third one we have bit rate or data transfer rate creates delay, which is a function if the number of books transferred. Here the question arises, how to minimize delay in retrieving data. Let me tell you answer. We can minimize delay in retrieving data by defragmentation. The question arises, what is defragmentation? Defragmentation is the procedure to minimize delay in retrieving data by moving related items to physically approximate areas on the disk. As you can see on image, defragmentation and computer systems. Some computer operating systems perform defragmentation automatically, although automatic defragmentation is intended to reduce access delays, performances, and will be temporarily reduced while the procedure is in progress. Now moving to rotational speed. Time to access data can be improved by increasing rotational speed or by reducing the time spent seeking. Increasing areal density increases throughout by increasing data rate and by increasing amount of data under set of heads, thereby potentially reducing seek activity for a given amount of data. And this is all about hard disk. Thank you.